No, the reason we're doing this, folks, is we've noticed on some of our recordings that we talk too quickly, but now we don't know when to start. Oh,
Action.
we need to get one of those. Okay. Hey, I think we both have images here that we've not seen before. So
Uh,
mine's the Smoky Mountains. Man,
the Dnipro River in
oh,
Ukraine in the Kherson Oblast.
oh
If you look
wow, that's you.
just to the right, it would be the bridge the Russians blew up.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It was really interesting. The Ukrainians were so happy to meet Americans, and they knew my son because of his he made friends in the Peace Corps. And boy, when I came, they wanted to honor me with a picnic.
Oh,
And
how cool.
yeah, and they created this enormous feast of meat, which was very, very expensive for
Yes.
these people. And they were just so proud and wanted to know how, did I like the meat and did I like the food? And then I wanted to honor them, so I created an image to kind of memorialize the
Really.
event, this image is called At the Picnic.
Oh,
And
how great.
this is all now. I'm standing on Russian territory. Across the way is Ukrainian territory. They're lobbing bombs over this whole coastal area has been just bombed to oblivion. And
So, serious question. Did you
yeah.
like the food?
I was so honored at the lengths they went to
So, so maybe not so much, huh?
honor me and my family. So it was a
That's
very,
really great.
very nice experience.
Well, what's on your mind today, bud?
Well, what's on my mind is our photo tours.
Oh, okay.
And something I've noticed that in every tour, I can't think of one that this isn't true. There's always at least one, if not more, lone wolves.
Oh, interesting.
They don't shoot with the group. You'll see them off in the distance doing their own thing, and you're wondering, boy, what are they seeing?
Yeah.
They always impress me because in my mind, they're not into groupthink. They're not like you pointed out once that if the workshop leaders pointed this way, everybody gathers around you and points that way.
Yeah.
They are seeing for themselves. They already have their own ideas, their own vision. And that always impressed me. I
Yeah.
can think so many of your customers who do
Yeah.
that.
Roxanne comes to mind. I mean, she rarely wants to be with the group. Jim Norman, if he's with us, he's never with us.
The guy with the fancy camera,
Oh, David Kaplan.
David Kaplan's always off doing his thing, and
Yeah.
and so I hope I'm right. That
Oh, I
they
think you are.
have their own idea, their own vision. And
So I
so, what
think
kind
what,
of shooter are you? We'll ask the audience. What kind of shooter are you?
yeah. Yeah, because I feel like that continuum's coming into this discussion again because man, when I was just a photographer trying to figure out that camera and I was taking a workshop from the legendary Tony Sweet, man, I was Barry. Tony, what f-stop? What lens? I mean, I would get out of the car. I would literally say, "What lens should I get here?" And I think Tony was so annoyed with me finally, John, just put a damn lens on and figure it out yourself, you know. But he was right. I mean, I had to figure out what it was. But in those early stages, I was not a lone wolf in any way, shape, or form. I was so afraid that whether I could make a good photograph or not, I need to stick with the group. So again, I don't think there's a right or wrong in this answer. There's nothing to feel uncomfortable about in answering that, you need to be with the group because you're still learning that confidence or gaining confidence. But I think that what I hear, and I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the message that I hear you having here is be a lone wolf. Even if you're on a photo workshop, with the exception, so I would add this. Oftentimes when we're getting out of a vehicle and we have walkie-talkies, I'll say on the walkie-talkie, hey, we got some good clouds right now. Cole is going to do some long exposure. So if long exposure is something you're interested in learning, well, then it would be appropriate to stay with Cole.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll usually announce that that's what's happening. There's some learning of a specific nature going on. And so you might want to stay with the leader at that point. But in general, I think and that's my style in a workshop. If people want to know, I am not the type of workshop leader who's going to hover and teach you things 24/7 during a workshop. It's quite the opposite. I am going to try to help you follow your vision. I'm going to try to ask questions about what are you seeing, not what I'm seeing, right? If somebody asks what I'm seeing, I'm not going to not show them. I mean, I'm not going to be rude like that. But I'm going to pivot pretty quickly to having them be the lone wolf, if you will, and go off and find your own vision. That's why I think you and I are so excited about the vision workshop coming up in a couple of weeks, because, or retreat, I should call it, because all those people are going to be on their own, whether they want to be or not.
Right, right, right. And I think that the most successful workshop would be one where everybody scatters and they're all doing their own thing.
Yeah, and then you
That would
have,
be cool.
Eddie Soloway, who's a great Nat Geo guy. That's what his workshops are. He actually gives them assignments every day, and they go out, and then they meet in the evening and have a dialogue about that. And that's essentially what we're going to do on the Vision Retreat. There's going to be a lot more dialogue about how's it going, how are you doing with following your vision, and they're going to tell us how hard it is. I'm sure they are, right? And we're going to be able to reflect back and say, yeah, you're right. It is hard,
No, it's very hard.
but
Very,
carry
very
on,
hard. Yeah,
carry on. So
good.
good thought today. Thanks for sharing that, buddy.